don't know if you can tell, it's raining outside, which is not conducive to being outside and darting dinosaur DNA. So what I've done today is going to be a very special day. I am headed to the Alf Museum of Paleontology. Now, if you've been with my channel for a while, you know that I've been here before, and they're very helpful people that are going to help educate me, and hopefully they educate you, and hopefully you have a little bit of fun. I'm going to see my boy Gabe, who I think he kind of just runs. I'm gonna have to ask him, but I think he kind of just runs it. Like, he's not the curator, but I think it's a school, and it's a museum at a school, and so I think he kind of runs the museum for the students. I'm gonna have to ask. I think he's a director. How about that? So until you hear him tell you otherwise, he's the director of the Alf Museum of Paleontology, and he either specializes in or he loves the mammal period. So now that in Jurassic World Alive we are in the era of mammals with Smilodon and then the two rhino looking hippo things that I can't pronounce, that at the end of today's video, sometime between now and the end of today's video, I will pronounce both of them correctly. I'm gonna get educated. I'm gonna find out what Jurassic World Alive got right with these creatures, these mammals, and I'm gonna find out where they took some liberties. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. It's gonna kind of be different from all the rest. Not really sure that there'll be any gameplay footage, so if you're only here for the gameplay footage, we will probably catch up with you guys tomorrow. But if you are interested to find out what it is that a paleontologist has to say about the time period of when the mammals arrived compared to when T-Rex was there, compared to when like Stegosaurus was there, it's going to be a rather fun video for you. So this is going to be an absolutely amazing little treat. Gabe here at the Alf Museum of Paleontology, he knows his mammals. He knows what's up with this stuff way better than I do. So I'm gonna turn it over. Look, they even have Brontotherium, lots of them. They've got lots of them, and they got Gabe. Let's talk to him. All right, everybody, it's Gabe again, and he is my resident expert, and the Alf Museum trusts him, so I'm gonna trust him, and I think you guys should trust him as well. And he actually really likes mammals. And why do you like the mammal period?
So studying mammals is really interesting to me because after the extinction of the dinosaurs, the mammals were able to just radiate and turn into so many unique and wonderful, interesting forms through the history of mammals. I actually specifically studied marine mammals in the past, so I studied how mammals were like living on land, and then they saw the ocean and were like, hey, I want to live there, and how they like changed all their feet and cool things like that to survive in the ocean.
So not unlike today, where people are born in the Midwest and like, I want to go live in LA because it's near the ocean.
Yeah, basically.
Very cool. Now, I'm a mammal.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure. I look nothing like the Bronto Theorem?
Bronto, yeah.
Bronto Theorem here. I look nothing like that. How am I related to that?
So what makes a mammal are a unique set of traits that connect us all to each other. It's, you know, things like having fur. Specifically, what makes a mammal is the presence of the mammary glands in the females. That's why we're mammals, because we're able to produce milk for our young and take care of our young.
Okay, so I actually got that right in one of my other videos where I said the only thing I knew about mammals was that they give live birth and they feed their children milk.
Yep, there's actually some mammals who lay eggs. The platypus and like the echidna are a really far off group of mammals that appeared early on. They're called monotremes, and they still lay eggs, but they produce milk too to take care of their young, but they're still a mammal.
They're like the distant cousin that nobody really talks to,
yeah,
right?
Kinda.
Okay, so when would this, you say the mammals, the Brontotherium, came after the dinosaurs went extinct, which is, it makes a lot of sense. If, I'm telling you right now, where is he? If that Allosaurus is running around, I'm probably not gonna come out during the day if I've got that thing. And that was actually a night hunter though, right?
I actually don't know that.
Oh, okay.
I do know that they were fast hunters.
So I'm not faster than that. So if that thing's hunting me, I'm gonna stay small. And then I'm also gonna stay out of the daylight. So those went extinct, and then these came along. How long after?
So Brontotheres appeared in the Eocene about 56 million years ago. So a few million years after the dinosaurs went extinct. They existed up until about 34 million years ago.
Okay, so because I'm having a hard time with, from today till then was how many million?
34 million years.
34 million. So the mammals have been around for a while. And then from the beginning of mammals to T-Rex and his buddy Allosaurus over there, how far was that? Actually,
mammals were around during the time of the dinosaurs, but for Brontotheres, that was about 10 million years, probably.
Okay. So this isn't like the dinosaurs went extinct and then all of a sudden mammals came about. This was 10 million years. That is, I can't even wrap my head around how long that is. That it doesn't compute. I'm not able to think that big of a scale. What do we know about Brontotheriums?
So Brontotheres are really cool. They're a kind of hoofed animal, a hoofed mammal called a perissodactyl. Those are animals that are related to things like rhinos and horses. A lot of people will look at Brontothere skulls and think that they are a kind of rhino, but really they're a relative of them. What they are these very large beasts. Their name itself means thunder beast, Bronto meaning thunder, and Ther meaning beast. And they have these kind of bony protrusions on the top of their nose. People will look at them and think that they're like the rhino horn, but rhino horns are actually made of keratin, the same thing as our hair, so they aren't the same at all. These are bone protrusions. In the past, some scientists used to think that they were used for fighting and defense, but the bone itself isn't actually that strong to be using it like that. So a lot of other paleontologists will now consider that these bony protrusions are more for like calling females, attracting females. The bigger the protrusions, the more sexy you are to the female Brontothere.
I'm not even going to comment on that.
It's funny actually, here in California we had our own version of Brontotheres during the Eocene. We had some about 45 million years ago living down where Orange County is, but they were a little bit different. So during that time, much of the United States and the world was warmer and wetter and kind of like had a rainforest. So we had Brontotheres living in the rainforest here in California during that time, but they didn't have these bony protrusions. They actually were kind of flat on the top of their noses. So we had our own unique version of Brontotheres here in California.
Well, there you go. Like, I'm learning and you're learning. Now, we talked a little bit earlier, what Gabe and I did, so I'm not pulling this out of nowhere, but in this area, not exactly here, but close to here, within like an hour, are the Brea Tar Pits. And what is it about the Brea Tar Pits that is interesting as far as the mammals go and as far as Jurassic World Alive? Because we do have 4 or 5 new creatures that were released, and as we walk down here, what is it that we have that makes us unique, and does it make us unique, I guess?
So in Jurassic World Alive, they have a new thing called a Smilodon, which is what this animal is right here. Some people call it a saber-toothed cat. There are these big cats with these huge canines that look like these sabers, And they were around during the Ice Age, during the Pleistocene, till about, I believe, 10,000 years ago. And what makes California, or Los Angeles in particular, unique when it comes to Smilodon is that we have this thing called the Brea Tar Pits. And the tar pits are really cool because they are a predator trap. And that means that they have a huge collection of Pleistocene predators. It's the largest collection and one of the best collections of these animals in the whole world. Back in the Pleistocene, the tar was seeping out through the ground. It still is seeping out now. And some other animals would get stuck, and a bunch of the predators would see that as like, oh, free, easy meal. They'd be like grad students descending upon a sandwich bar. So they'd come out to the tar pits, they try to eat the animal, but then they get stuck themselves. And so it was just kind of this cycle of all these animals getting trapped and stuck on top of one another. And so that's why we have this amazing collection of Pleistocene fossils, which includes a lot of Smilodons.
Now, Smilodon is, I thought it was a saber-toothed tiger, which is kind of the common nomenclature for this, but it's actually, that's not technically correct.
Yeah.
It's a big cat?
Yeah.
And what's the difference between a saber-toothed tiger and a big cat?
So, saber-toothed tiger, it's not right because Smilodon aren't a tiger. They're their own group of big cats. The big cats are any of the large felidae like lions, tigers, jaguars, cheetahs, things like that. And so the Smilodon are just their own group of those. They're not a tiger. So that's why we usually just say saber-toothed cat if we're trying to kind of talk about them in the general sense.
How big did the Smilodons get? Do we think? Like, what would be the, compared to something people would know today?
Think of like maybe a small lion, female small lion.
So they're not that big, so they're probably pretty fast.
They're fast, yeah, definitely. Yeah. They think that they use the saber teeth. They didn't use that particularly for like cutting and like slicing prey. What it was is they could open their lower jaw to about 90 degrees, and then when they open it that wide, they're able to get around the neck of their prey and take their saber teeth and put it down past their esophagus and bite down and suffocate them really quickly. And that way they can kill their prey fast without having to damage their saber teeth, because that's the most important part of their hunting strategies.
And then what else do we have going on here? Are these all from the same general areas?
So these
and
are all
what do we
from
got?
the same area at the same time. So here we have a short-faced bear, one of the largest bears to ever exist here in California. These are mammoth teeth, and this is a mastodon tooth. They're both relative of elephants. They just have different diets. And this here is a tusk of a mammoth. The mammoth had these really long tusks that came out in curves. All of these could be found at the tar pits as well.
And it doesn't sound like Smilodon was hanging out at the same time as our Bronto Theorems.
Yep.
One day I'll get it right. You mentioned the Ice Age. So was there an Ice Age between Bronto Theorems and Smilodon here?
Yeah, so Bronto Theorems lived during a time when the world was much warmer, hotter. Like I said, a lot of the United States was a rainforest at that time. And then there was a period of cooling when the Earth got a little bit cooler. And in the Miocene, it was pretty warm again. And then by the Pleistocene, it got to our Ice Age portion. And we're still kind of like exiting that last Ice Age portion, I think, or we had just exited recently in terms of time. And
are any Homo sapien types running around at any of these?
Yes. Our ancestors were around the same time as these things were here in California.
So we were better equipped to survive than those.
So there is some hypothesis that think the reason why these megafauna, the Pleistocene megafauna as we call them, went extinct was because in part due to human overhunting. They couldn't compete with us when we came in to hunt, and so we drove to extinction, you know, in combination with like climate change, warming temperatures, change in environment, loss of prey mammals and stuff like that. So a lot of other things that might have led to their extinction, with us included.
And so finally, my question, are any of these exclusive to the United States, or can they be found worldwide?
Most of these were found worldwide. Smilodon could be found in South America. There's bears through Europe. Mammoth and mastodons are found throughout the world. Bronto Theorems are found throughout the world also. So yeah, we have a lot of what we can find throughout. Some of the species and genera we have here are unique.
So there you go. I hope you guys learned something today. I know I for sure did. We got ice ages, we've got like millions and millions and millions of years that have passed. How long did Smilodon run, and how long did Bronto Theorem? Their ranges as to.
Bronto Theorem was around for I think 20-ish million years. Smilodon was around. I actually don't remember when Smilodon first appeared, but that's what we have Wikipedia for, right? Or Google.
It's really weird to me to think that like 20 million years. When you think of evolution, you would think that over 20 million years, these creatures would be able to adapt to anything. Do we know what killed off the Bronto Theorems with the Ice Age? They just weren't able to adapt to the cold weather?
They weren't around for the Ice Age. They were just around when things were changing, were cooling down slightly to when the forests were giving way to more plain type environments here in the United States. So they were adapted for eating leaves and living in jungles or forests like that. Once those trees disappeared and those forests disappeared and gave way to plains, Bronto Theorems couldn't adapt as easily because they were specialized into eating leaves instead of grasses. So that's why they probably went extinct at the end.
So I guess that's what makes humans. How long have humans been around?
Not that long, like a million years probably.
Or baby, well, like 1/20th of what they were. But we seem more adaptable, right? Like we kind of are able to use our hands.
Yeah. So we're different a little bit in that we have the ability to change the environment to our needs. Whether or not that's a good thing is to be seen. I mean, right now it's kind of seeming like it's not very much of a good thing. But we do have the ability to shape our environment to our needs as compared to some other animals where more often than not it's about fitting their environment best.
There you go. Is it a good thing? It's a bad thing? Time will tell, but who knows? Gabe, I appreciate you having me out again.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And I think they're talking about aquatics. I don't know anything, but that sounds like it might be right up your alley. We might be back here again if aquatics are ever released in Jurassic World Alive, because that's your bread and butter, right?
That's where I can really, really talk about it. That was where my favorite things to publish on are from.
We'll spend months here. That's all I've got for this one. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So until next time.